Transmitting to you from Old Heart Radio.
A little smoother, a little more refined. Oh boy. Hello. Yes, that's probably gonna clip, but I don't care because this is Coffee and Contemplation. I'm your host, Old Heart, aka Jared, aka the gruesome thing behind the microphone. Yes. Welcome to episode number 120. That's 120 for those not in the know. 120, at least, of the episodes posted on iTunes and Spotify and the such. Unfortunately, the original episodes of Coffee and Contemplation that were posted to the Old Heart Radio SoundCloud, I don't even know if I have them, which is so unfortunate. Don't even get me going down that road. But, there's probably, in grand total, at least like 300 plus episodes. If you're probably closer to 4 if you're thinking about all the Old Heart Radio shows. But, it's been going. Either way, it's glad to have you here listening to the sound of my voice, hot dogs. So get on Instagram and follow us at Old Heart Radio. Subscribe to the YouTube Old Heart Radio, as well as follow us on Twitter at Old Heart and Space, because we do things on those sometimes. If you ever want to be on an episode of Local Yokels, a podcast featuring me and my friends, or me making friends, just DM us on our Instagram at Old Heart Radio, and we'll set up a Zoom meeting with you, or eventually when we can do things in person, maybe we can do in-person recordings again. Hooray! Anyway, none of that is what we're talking about. We're talking about ultimately a very, very important, much more important thing than Old Heart Radio. We're talking today about Star Trek Voyager. Yes. Oh, yes. And I'm pretty sure I've probably talked about Star Trek Voyager in the past, but it's always worth revisiting. Why? Because Star Trek Voyager is fucking amazing. It is my second favorite Star Trek series. If I'm being honest right now, at least the order sits Star Trek The Next Generation, Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, then the original series. Come at me about it. Either way, I found a handy dandy little internet list on the internet, surfing, I was surfing the waves of the internet, and I found something on a website called warpedfactor.com. All right, it's 20 supposed things that you might not know about Star Trek Voyager. Just telling you right now, if you're not a fan of Star Trek, then you're a fucking loser, all right? And this podcast isn't for you. That being said, not trying to be polarizing, but, we already are at Old Heart Radio. Also, Oatly, I'm drinking some coffee right now, and I could really use some free Oatly, all right? I'm coming after you for that sponsorship. Let's talk more. Let's talk about it. Either way. All right, number 1 on this list. Apparently, the ideas for a new Star Trek TV show came about in a similar way to the Star Trek Phase 2. That is to say, this is all from warpedfactor.com. Both shows were intended to be the flagship series on new Paramount television channels. Star Trek Phase 2, I do not know about. Star Trek Voyager apparently had a record-breaking 21.3 million viewers as soon as it started. So, just gonna say, that's obviously why I don't know about Phase 2. Apparently, Paramount, the studio that makes Star Trek happen, was always keen to recycle things, so they basically used some of the elements of the crew quarters, transporter rooms, and portions of the engineering set from the movie Star Trek Generations, which features Jean-Luc Picard and Captain Kirk. Groundbreaking. I remember when that happened, it was like, no way. Jean-Luc Picard and Captain Kirk are actually gonna fucking meet. How? Why? What? I'm pretty sure I have that movie on VHS still. All right, number 3. Apparently there was a good few well-known actresses that had auditioned for the role of Catherine Janeway, the role of Star Trek's first female captain. People like Linda Carter from Wonder Woman. That's cool. Wouldn't have been opposed to that. Lindsay Wagner, the Bionic Woman, auditioned for the role. Kate Jackson from Charlie's Angels. Linda Hamilton, aka Sarah Connor from The Terminator, apparently auditioned for the role of the first female captain. That's crazy. It says here also that eventually the producers narrowed down the field to 2 actors, and one of them was actually British actor. Shit! Shout-outs to all you hot dogs listening. Thank you so much. You're amazing people. Shout-outs to Oatly. Sponsor us, baby. We'll keep shouting you out. Shout-outs to, our Instagram. Hop on Instagram. Find us at Old Heart Radio. Find us on YouTube. Subscribe to the Old Heart Radio YouTube. And find us on Twitter at Old Heart in Space. Old Heart and Spot. Anyway, so apparently, out of the 2 actors picked, one of them was female and the other was British actor Nigel Havers, which would have defeated the purpose of the first female captain. And apparently Kate Mulgrew, who ended up taking on the role of Captain Janeway, was not the first pick. It was apparently French-Canadian actress Genevieve Bujold, who was actually apparently picked to play Captain Nicole Janeway. No. I'm not buying that Nicole Janeway stuff. That doesn't command the respect that Catherine Janeway does. All right, get the fuck out of here. Apparently, according to warpedfactor.com, Michael Dorn's character, Lieutenant Worf, was set from Star Trek The Next Generation, was set to reprise his role as a member of the Voyager crew, but Michael Dorn actually turned down the offer, only to later reprise his role in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. What's interesting about that is I have Michael Dorn's autograph. I stood in line at an Emerald City Comic-Con to get Michael Dorn's autograph. And you know what? I tell this story every time. He sat on his phone and complained about the fucking weather as I gave him 40 some odd bucks or 60 some odd bucks, however much it fucking was, to get a fucking goddamn autographed photo. And I was just like, this is the most disappointing fan moment of my life. Ugh. Anyway, I love Lieutenant Worf as a character, though, and Michael Dorn portrays him really well. All right, another quick little fun fact: Tim Russ, who plays one of my favorite characters, Tuvok, the Vulcan security officer on Star Trek Voyager, was apparently up for the part of Geordi LaForge earlier on when they were casting it for Star Trek The Next Generation, which is nuts. That's crazy cool. But I'm glad he ended up as Tuvok, for selfish reasons. 1, Tuvok's a cool character, and 2, you don't mess with Geordi LaForge. LeVar Burton nailed that character. I love LeVar Burton. Shout out to LeVar Burton. Amazing human being. G-Bus. Alright. Dear hot dogs, dear listeners, dear people of the future and the past, you will note that my internet is not working at the moment. Something has fritzed it out. It was probably you goddamn liars. Apparently, warpedfactor.com is not responding. So I'm just going to say this right here. Fuck you, warpedfactor.com. see if I give a shit. I'll tell you one other fact I looked at before that crapped out on me. Apparently, Lieutenant Tom Paris in the Star Trek like hand Bible or whatever, the stuff about all the shows. Apparently, the crime that he committed was, which you know about if you watch the show, was that he had like during like a war games exercise, he had this like incident where he ended up basically like having an accident that killed another person. And on top of killing another person, he then lied about it and blamed the dead man for the accident. And that was later uncovered, and that's what he ended up being kicked out of the Federation for, and kicked out of Starfleet for, and so on and so forth, which I think is fucking wild. Pretty dark. It's fairly dark. It's not that dark. But anyway, one of the reasons why Star Trek Voyager, fuck these facts. One of the reasons why Star Trek Voyager is one of my favorite shows is because, just the idea that this ship gets launched 30,000 light years away or whatever the fuck to the other end of the galaxy, and it's just they're by themselves. They've got to make their way home, and they're determined to do it. Kate Mulgrew plays Catherine Janeway, who is just this like stoic, firm presence on the ship. Like everybody wants to speculate the first female captain would be soft or something. But you know what? One, there's nothing wrong with being soft at times. Two, Catherine Janeway is soft is not a way you describe her. Like when this ship is by itself, no Starfleet near it, no Federation planets near them. She's just like, we're sticking to fucking Starfleet guidelines. We're sticking to our principles. I'm holding this ship down. We're running this like it's an everyday fucking like mission. And she does it, man. And the crew is better for it. She's a great leader. Other members of the cast like B'Elanna, one of the first, I think it's the first Klingon human hybrid character you are introduced to. Awesome character, chief engineer. Amazing episodes. They deal with the Borg quite a bit, which is fucking intriguing to me because the Borg are such a sinister force, if you ask me. Holy shit, we got to the end of the podcast. Either way, this has been a hodgepodge of stuff about Star Trek Voyager. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like Star Trek Voyager, if you didn't, you probably didn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's okay. It's just another podcast. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna say this. Well, I hope you do yourself a favor and use your brain for good, because every day is a great day to ripen up your coconut. And don't ever forget, dear hot dog, keep your stick on the ice.